we said, all right, even though the future policy is for T3NE, we'll go with what you're trying to move forward with, and what you've heard from your constituents here is go to T3 neighborhood maintenance. So that's what we've drawn it for. So I feel like in a fair way we've reached the middle.
And that's what I've always tried to do. I mean, this is Jennifer's first time coming on one of my community meetings regarding a development. I've done probably less than a dozen rezonings in my 6 years on this Metro Council, and I have a track record of due diligence and having community engagement and coming to a middle ground. I've had contentious projects in Whites Creek, in Madison and Goodlettsville. And so I'm not new at this. This is not my first rodeo, and I know and understand how to come to a consensus. And so, or come to a middle ground, if you will. But what I need to see is that the community is willing to come to a compromise or a ground. And just to say, no, we don't want anything that's not like our homes um is not conducive, and that's not trying to work towards a middle ground, because we're not trying to get something that's exactly like your homes. We're trying to provide a diversity of housing options, but we're trying to do it in a way that's balanced and that helps maintain quality of life. And so I'm really interested in hearing what your concerns are and how we might address those to come to a compromise so that we can get some nice quality homes for our residents in this area. That's it. I think we can go back to Dan Denton, and then I do see Ella Janko and Ron Johnson, Angelico rather, and Ron Johnson. We'll go in that order.
Okay, real quick. You said that the codes for our present neighborhood was 2 homes per acre.
Correct.
There is a neighborhood straight across the street from this piece of property that has several homes back in there. What are their codes for the lots?
I would have to look that up. I'm not sure where you're talking about.
All right, it's right across the street of Campbell Road.
Okay.
It's right there across from the Vitito's house, somewhere right in that area.
From the where?
The Vitito's, the property you're wanting to, that they're looking at purchasing and building 55 homes on.
Right.
There is a neighborhood right off of Campbell. You come up it maybe a quarter of a mile. If you turn left if you go on Dickerson Road to Campbell, go about a quarter of a mile, and there's a neighborhood on the left back in there. Several homes in there. What are their codes?
Let me look it up and see. I'll have to look that up.
Okay.
And so while we're doing that, we'll go to the next question.
Right. They aren't acre lots. So it appears they may get maybe a quarter to a third acre lots is what I'm thinking. Not sure, but I just like to know what the codes is for that.
Okay.
Also, I got another one. Are you aware that on those TVA lines, that is not just the line that runs across there, there is another easement that is attached to that for another set of lines for future growth. So that eats up at 3 acres before that she's talking about. And the only reason you're getting a green space is because you can't build a house on it. So, don't use that as a green space area. It's because you can't build a house on it. You can't build anything under it. So you need to check that TVA easement also. So that may shrink the property again. Let me think. I got just one or two.
Okay, can we go? We're going to go to the next person. Thank you so much.
Question. What is the gentleman that is building and developing this land? He's working through a builder. Are they the ones that will be selling the homes?
Yeah.
You want to answer that?
Any builder that builds has to sell the home.
The builder himself?
No, they will probably have a team of sales folks on site with a model home.
Okay. Jennifer, what if, since this is 2 or 3 years down the road, what is to keep these homes that the builder can't sell or sell to someone that turns it into a government housing area. Is there any codes in there that says they can't do that?
What do you mean turn it into a government housing?
It's where you can have government supported funds.
No, these would be for
THA
sale. These
Huh?
would be for sale units, and so
Okay.
unless somebody's getting a HFA loan or something,
Well, what if the
or
developer,
a
the builder,
veteran getting a
or
loan?
whoever's selling the homes, they can't get them sold, just like these apartments, they can't get them rented, so they convert them to government housing. What is to keep them from doing that? Is there any
And
codes?
because they aren't rentals, they aren't rentals, they are for sale units, and so
Okay,
in order.
so let me ask you, if I buy one of them, can I rent it to anybody I want to rent it to?
Yes, you could do
Yes or
that
no?
now. You could do that with the house you have now.
Okay, so then I could turn it into a government housing rental, correct?
Uh,
Yes, I
And
can.
not that you would have to,
All I gotta do
I
is go
guess
to
you could go
government
through
and
that
say it'd
process to
be
try
for
to rent it
government
out.
housing. It can be used for government housing. So there's no codes that protects it from becoming I'm not saying it will, I'm not saying it won't, but there's no codes in there because everything we hear is, oh well, we'll do that. We'll do that. I think we've met in the middle. We don't think you've met in the middle. I think maybe 3 houses per acre might be middle, maybe 4.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. That's I
Now
appreciate
you're
that.
putting them on a decent lot and putting a decent house. And as far as affordable, in 3 to 4 years, this won't be a $300,000 house. This will be a $400,000 or $500,000 house.
Exactly.
And if you don't believe it, I just got my taxes, and they've got almost went up 25%, and nothing's changed other than you've raised my taxes.
Well, I
The
appreciate
value of
that.
my home didn't
That's
change.
another topic.
Exactly.
So we're gonna,
In
and
3
we
to
had
4
we had the
years,
property assessor Vivian Wilhoit at our last meeting on the 29th talking about those appraisals and
right.
how and why the property values have jumped so much.
Right.
But
So in
we
3 to
can't
4
talk about
years,
that
this will
here.
not be affordable housing.
Well,
It'll be
well, it's relative affordable to what's out there, I guess. That's what we're saying. That this is not
right.
subsidized, that kind of affordable. Can we go to Miss Ellen?
But that's fine. But you might want to check TVA, and you might want to check the codes if I could buy one and turn it into government housing.
Well, if you could do that now, then apparently somebody else can do it wherever they live.
Exactly. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you
go
for your
ahead.
time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Miss Ellen,
Hey,
go ahead.
thanks, Councilwoman Gamble. I just wanted to say thank you to Councilwoman Gamble and Dwayne and Christian for being here. And I appreciate the robust conversation from the neighbors. I just wanted to jump in and say that not every neighbor is opposed to density like this. I appreciate that you seem to be moving forward responsibly. I participated in the process around the Coursey Farms development, as well as the development of the former site of Frontier Town. I don't remember the exact address, but it's on Nesbitt right before the train tracks. The Coursey Farms development created sidewalks that allowed me to walk around my neighborhood more safely than before. And my property value has gone up since both developments. I would encourage everybody to participate in the rezoning process because you can get into pretty granular detail with SP zoning, and you can ensure that use of this land benefits everybody in the neighborhood. So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Appreciate it.
Mr. Johnson?
Again, I want to thank you, Ms. Gamble, for hosting this. You were gracious enough to speak with me a few weeks ago. Thank you for that. Have a couple of questions. One, I'm just kind of trying to gauge how familiar you are with this area. Do you know how many actual, in this community, stoplights we have running into our community?
None that I could think of. Stop lights?
Yes, coming into this area. How we
Coming from Gallatin Road or Dickerson Road, not very many that I can think of.
Well, there's none coming from Dickerson Road.
Yeah.
There is 2 going out to Old Hickory Boulevard and 1 coming from Gallatin. And
Okay.
I think also the traffic is definitely something that concerns me. The density seems like it's just too much. Ms. Ferris did touch on electricity. I have talked to the people the power company, as well as AT&T, who provides other services out here. They tell me that presently we are not balanced well for power, and that is one of the reasons, besides the trees, that we continue to have power issues here. So I don't know what they would do if we're not currently getting the power we need now, how we would get it then. I'd also like to ask, has anybody done a hydrology report? Because on Campbell Road, it sets approximately 550 feet above sea level.
Mhm.
As you roll up the mountain, according to your map up there, that's about 600 feet. Now, the map that I received via email from you, Ms. Gamble, is different from the one the gentleman showed here. Now,
Yes, it is. That was the first plan that
two
was
different
presented.
retention ponds, but neither one of them is enough. I think if they have overflow, how are they going to get down to the tributary that feeds Dry Creek? I just think you're going to have too much runoff there. And on the phone, I spoke to you about what's in Clarksville. The government caused the flooding there that happened back in April. There's now lawsuits on this. I'm very much afraid that we're going to get into the same thing here. You said, oh, there'll be an infrastructure put in, but that's what they said. And so we've got problems here now. We have flooding over here in another part of the community as you come in from Lowe's. That's flooded. So the water that's going to happen when you start paving this thing is going to be a lot. And I'm very, very concerned about that. So I encourage you gentlemen to look into that. You know, Mr. Miller, you said that you're concerned about the look and the feel. Well, I am too. And I'm just not, as some of the other people have said, I'm not sure that it's conducive to our neighborhood. Nevertheless, you know, I know you're in the planning phases, so we can wait and see. But none of you have spoken to the fact that as this community has gotten more crowded, you know, the mayor has already worked with the traffic department, and they're lowering the speed limits. Are you aware of that, Ms. Gamble? That they're going to be lowering?
Yes, I am. Yes,
Yeah,
on neighborhood streets to 25 miles per hour. That's
yeah. They're
correct.
not all of them over here.
And you
Jeff.
also have quite a few traffic calming projects going on in your
We
neighborhood.
do.
You had
We
one
do.
on Conniff Drive, and there's one coming up on Apple Valley.
That's right. And so, you know, I'm very aware of those. And, you know, the traffic here, we have on Campbell's people come through. I know I see them coming through fast, but you do have the speed bumps that's slowing some people down there. And that's good. But, you know, I am concerned too about, you know, Metro Council, I think just last night, didn't you guys appropriate money to do a study for the Rivergate development, which is like 3 miles from here? Didn't that happen?
It did. Actually, I think we passed more than a study of last night, and I have to
Funding.
look at my
Yeah. So, I mean,
document. But we did pass for them to move forward to look at moving forward with that development. That is correct.
and so, you know, it's and then we had all these apartments that were moved over here by the Lowe's out here on Gallatin Road, and they're building more. So I don't know. I agree with you that we need some housing. I don't necessarily agree that it needs to go in my neighborhood, but I just got to ask you: have you already made up your mind that you want to push this thing through and use your power as a councilwoman to lobby this project to success?
I want to provide more single family for sale units in our area. That is correct. I
But
want
only
to
a
work.
few people live that in your council in this area. So, you know, my concern is since you don't live here, since Mr. Miller doesn't live here, and no one else.
But because I don't live here, there are developments going on in every neighborhood, and mine included. And so I'm looking at all the neighborhoods. I'm you know, serving all of the 21,000 residents throughout this district in every neighborhood.
So the
And
majority
so
of the residents live
your
here.
neighborhood is not the only one that's being proposed for new
That's why I
development.
brought up Rivergate. So,
Okay. But
you know,
that's not even in my district. That's District
I
10.
understand, but you're on the council and you voted, I assume, for the appropriate the money, did you?
Yes, I did.
So, you know, so why don't I encourage you to turn your attention elsewhere where people, I'm not opposed to having housing over there. I want to tell you that.
Well, yeah, and what that sounds like is what they call NIMBYism, not in my neighborhood. And what I would say to that is we all have to share in the growth of our city.
Well,
There's
you
no
know,
one
you say that.
neighborhood that's more special than the other as far as when you're talking about quality housing. Now, I will say as far as multifamily, my belief this belief is shared by a lot of people and the data supports it, that the higher density multifamily type products, townhome type products should be closer to or on the corridors, on Dickerson Road, on Gallatin Road. And I wouldn't propose anything like that for this area for a neighborhood, or I wouldn't even entertain, I would say, because I'm
Okay.
not proposing it. I don't have any built or any part of this development other than bringing it forth for you all to hear about it.
So if the majority of the people in our neighborhood, I'm just trying to get a clear picture of where you at. If the majority of them just really doesn't want it, but are okay with the regular zoning, what is your tendency? Do you want to go ahead and vote to do it, or are you going to respect the wishes of the people who live here?
Well, that depends. I mean, if it's something that is
Well, it really doesn't.
terrible
It's
for the
money the
neighborhood, then
developer.
I will say, but it just because you don't want it, that's not a good enough reason.
It's not just
and
me. I said the
I'm really
majority of
trying
the
to just
people.
work with you.
The majority of the people in the consistency, and I understand about the not in your backyard, but before I go out, because I know other people want to talk, you've mentioned numerous times and on me the phone on me in our phone call that there was evidence to support there was increased housing. Would you be good enough to email some of that evidence to me, because I haven't seen it, because all the
Sure.
evidence I see relates to
Okay.
over time, and housing goes up over time. I want to see studies that show that you put in these type of housing within the same time, accounting for time constraints, the value of the properties go up. That's what I've never seen. So if you have
Okay.
that,
I'll be happy to get that
email it to everyone.
information and share it.
Email it to everyone.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And let's see, I had one other question there too.
Okay, if we could get one more and then we'll go to the next. We have one more question and then we're going to end in about 10 minutes. And so appreciate your time, everybody's time.
And thank you again. We appreciate it too.
And we'll have another meeting. This won't
that
be
was going to be
the
my
last
question.
meeting. This won't be the last meeting. This is the second meeting. We will have another meeting. In fact, I really would like to have another meeting in June. I already have a tentative meeting planned for another project for June 18th, and I'd like to add this to that agenda, but I will get back to you all to confirm. So
Yes, ma'am. And
this is not the last meeting. Thank you.
said in the phone call is Mr. Day's, I guess, daughter's on the property now. Are they on this call?
Who is that?
Mr. Day's daughter. Mr. Day
The
passed
sellers,
away.
the sellers, are you
Yes.
all here? Anybody? I don't know. They came to the meeting on April
yes,
20.
we're
They
here.
were at that meeting at the
Yes,
Madison.
we're here, Jennifer.
Oh, good. Thank you.
We're here.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
So
Did you have a question for them?
Yes, ma'am. I've met you before, but it's been years. You don't remember me, I'm sure. But have you guys actually sold the property yet, or is it still for sale?
It's still for sale at this time. We are trying to sell it. This is the first group that has had interest in a lower density development. We actually have turned down several contracts for buyers who wanted to put apartments, townhomes, things like that. But we turned all of those down because we did not think that those would be suitable for the community. So we went with a buyer who we thought would build a lower density subdivision, hopefully possibly with an HOA that would kind of control some of the concerns I'm hearing. And this is the first group that we met with that we agreed that their development seemed to be something that we felt would fit more into the community.
Well, thank you for consideration there. And, I knew your dad, and so we appreciate that. And then no one blames you for selling the property. That's normal. That's good. But, I wouldn't mind contacting you about maybe making some other arrangements. Is there a way I could contact you?
Yeah, I can try to connect with you somehow. You interested in buying the property?
I was in the past. I may still be. It depends on the price.
Okay.
Do you have an email or something?
Yes, I can give it to you if you want to jot it down. So
Okay.
Ron J, RONJ.
Just so y'all know, we are under contract. So
Right. Yeah, that is very true. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Okay,
there's
legal considerations
Nebo,
there.
you
I
wanna
don't
ask
want
your
you getting
question?
Teresa in trouble. That's all.
Yeah.
well, you could contact me nonetheless, and we could talk. It's a case the contract fell through, but it's
Yeah.
our way.
Well, I just will say it was a very hard decision to sell this land for
I
me and my
know.
brother. The land had been in the family for a very long time. So
I know.
it was something that we did cherish. We did think about for a very, very long time, but the land is just sitting there.
I know.
And
Listen, I want you to develop it. I think it's good. My
Right.
concern is, and I think most of the neighbors' concern is the density.
Right.
And so,
Well, you know,
don't
and
blame
I know I have moved out from the area. I sold my property about 2 years ago, and I moved into a neighborhood that has um, homes. It's about 50 acres. There's 25 homes in the first phase. The second phase is coming, and I will say that I was very surprised, and the difference in the neighborhood and what we had or what I had there is more of a neighborhood community. You have people who are walking the neighborhood with their children, their dogs walking through on the sidewalks. And it's very pleasant. And I just think it would be something that would be likable in that area.
and again, I think it does need to be developed. But you know, like everyone else, we are concerned about how it's going to look and what it's going to do to the community and stuff. Again, would you contact me if I give you my contact information, or?
Okay, we will have to get to the next question.
Well, she
Um,
didn't answer.
Well, and maybe we can do that. You all can do that offline. I'll share.
Be
I'll
glad to do
share
that.
your,
I just need an email
if
address.
you want to share your email with me, which I think I already have it. I'll share it with her.
Okay, we'll do
Uh,
that.
Mr. Debo, oh, Didu, I'm sorry.
It's Dito. It's fine.
Dido.
I'm a property owner over here on Northwind. Our property line actually backs up to where this will be. Part of the appeal, as you've heard from other people in the neighborhood, is the lot size and the fact of having just, it's a quiet neighborhood. We bought in here a few years ago, did a massive renovation at this home, and love the neighborhood. I think really for us, it's not about the land being developed. It's about the density, as a lot of people have alluded to. And Ron, especially, thank you for your comment on the electricity. We have found that to be a little annoying ourselves with the power issues over here. So I would assume that NES would have to step it up to make this better for everybody. My biggest concern is safety. We've had a lot of unnecessary foot traffic in this neighborhood, with people coming through. We've also had, this becomes a big pass through when any accidents happen or there's backups, and traffic is a big main issue. My wife and I enjoy walking our dogs through this neighborhood, and our challenge would be with the development. It would really be nice to see how they are going to help that problem with the increase in volume. And again, perhaps there's another middle ground to be met from 55 homes to something lower, because lot size is an issue, and it's not something that we're against seeing. It's just, that's a lot of homes in a very small area, and we have had a lot of close calls here in this area. And I think that it's just something of concern. And I don't really have anything to probe and give people a hard time on. It's more so to let the voice be known that, we are younger folks that moved in here. The appeal of this neighborhood was exactly what we bought. Having this be in my backyard, sure, there's always an opportunity. You could have somebody buy the property and build, but having one house, sure, 10 houses, maybe 55 houses, that becomes a problem. And then add the volume and the traffic on top of it. And I just would really love to see how that's going to be sorted.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I think we can take all those things in consideration. I also appreciate hearing today about your NES troubles. This is my first time hearing about power issues. So I will be reaching out to NES immediately, not waiting for this development, but reaching out to them now.
They already
to
know
ask about-
Littlesville is the worst. They've got power station. We get ours different. This is the worst in their network. They already know.
Okay, I'll be reaching out to them.
Appreciate it.
And seeing if I can get some help on that, as well as with the traffic calming. If the residents on West Campbell are interested in pursuing some traffic calming measures, like I said, we've done it on Cuniff, we've done it on that. Well, it's happening now. We're setting up meetings now for Apple Valley. That process is neighborhood driven, so someone on your street would need to submit the application. The next time the application process is open, which it won't be open until the fall. They've already closed. It's only open in the spring and the fall, so they've already closed the spring application time frame period. But when the fall application period comes, you could apply for traffic calming, and we could try to address the issues that you're having today with speeding or anything else in that way. And then if there, like I said, as we continue to have this conversation about this development, if there are other things that could be added, yes, density, we understand, we've heard you about the density. If there are other things that can be addressed as far as other, traffic calming within the new development, whether it's, I don't know, flashing crosswalks or other things that we can look at to address some of those concerns, then I welcome that into the conversation as well. Okay, we are right at 7:30, and as I said, I want to be respectful of all of your time. I will follow up with uh, information about another meeting to have to discuss this. Like I said, I will shoot for June, and it will be in person. Like I said, this meeting was a special call meeting as a follow-up to the in-person meeting we already had. And so we will have another meeting. It will be in person. And now that I have many of your addresses, or email addresses rather, then you'll be sure to get the notice like you did this time. But again, I want to thank you all for being here. And if you have any additional comments or anything that you would like to send to me, please feel free to do that. You may reach me at Jennifer, JENNIFER .gamble, GAMBLE, at nashville.gov. Thank you all for being here today.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.